Click the button.
Hello, welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode 451. I'm Otto, and tonight I'm joined with Jared.
Hey, everybody.
There's the VC, Victor, Charlie, Alex.
What's going on, guys? Good to see you. Good to see you, Kate.
And
Hello
then,
from down under.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Sorry, Otto. I'm just going to jump in. I'm
That's
Lady
fine. You
Liberty
go
from
for it.
Australia. Happy 4th of July. I'm from the future. It is 8 o'clock in the morning in Perth, Western Australia. I've got a little something in my coffee to celebrate Independence Day. I wish Australia was independent as well. Maybe one day. Thanks for having me back on the show. I'm so excited if you can't tell.
wow, thank you for coming on so early, and we also too wish to be independent one day as well. So
You're right.
we're just a little bit farther along than you guys are.
Yeah.
But yes, well, thank you so much. That is the voice. If you guys are not listening, or if you guys aren't watching, you're listening. That is the voice of Kate Fantanel, all the way from Perth, Australia. And also right next to her in the screen is live from the woods, James Babb.
We don't.
Great
It
to
could
be
be
with
woods in
you.
Australia. We don't know.
Oh,
I don't even know if Australia is
He's in
real
the
for
bush.
certain. So
We would
yeah.
call it the bush, not wood.
yeah, he's in the bush.
True. He's not
We
live
call
from the bush.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I have
that's
been,
a double
but not at the
entendre. You
moment.
can take it either way.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great to be here, and I'm celebrating Overthrow the Government Day.
Yes.
To me, that's
Mm.
the real spirit of the holiday. It's
Yes.
They didn't really get very far, but they tried, and
Hey. Participation award, right?
well, they revolted, and it lasted what 10 years before it got
Yeah,
the counter revolt.
yeah. If you're one of my children and your drunk father was the other night was preaching about, what this holiday is about. It's about shooting cops in the face.
You said that to your kids.
Damn.
Yeah,
That is what it's about. No, that is
if
the
you
true
boil it
spirit.
down,
That's the true spirit. It's about shooting cops in the face, and that's why we get a permit to light fireworks.
Right. Oh yeah, there's dude.
Not in
so
this
I was
state,
over-
Babs. We don't get permits here.
So I've been over, I was long over fireworks. I've just been over the whole drag your whole family, park, walk a mile, get a spot
Dude,
in a crowd.
Don't you
full
have a
of
friend that
people.
launches fireworks in their backyard?
I do now. So now I'm back in the fireworks game. So my
All right.
my brother's neighbor, he spends like $2,000 all the way
Goddamn.
because so
Hey,
Kate, in our state,
a lot.
it's not legal to buy. It's not legal to buy fireworks
In the
So
state.
you have to go to West Virginia or Pennsylvania. And it's funny because they can only sell to people from out of state, but they can't sell to people in their own state.
God,
So-
I wish Kyle was here to explain this state is crap to us. Like, I mean, somebody figure this out, and somebody phone it in, let us know. Like, this is why we do it this way.
Oh, that's
Like,
why we got to
yup.
put up the voice.
Yeah,
So,
so right
they went
over the
right over
border,
the
there's
border,
there's like a fireworks store literally every
Dude, I passed
like, a
it.
mile into Pennsylvania, anywhere, any direction you
Yeah.
go in Maryland. Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
passed one yesterday. The Keystone fireworks.
There you go.
Well,
Is
we
it-
need
now
a
that's-
permit. We need a permit for a bloody t-shirt gun here if we want to fire t-shirts into the crowd at a footy
my
game.
God.
So
No.
don't even get me
No.
started on
Yeah. No,
fireworks.
pretty much
That
that
is
is
a
not
dangerous,
true.
prohibited weapon in Australia.
Isn't everything
Fireworks.
illegal in Australia? Pretty much.
That can't
Much,
be
we've
real.
just had our second gun confiscation since 1996. So they've disarmed 234 people in my state of Western Australia using prohibited ammunition that they've decided is too dangerous for civilians to own. So long range rifles predominantly affected.
Bow and arrow.
So the biggest group affected actually is our veterans who love long range sniping as a sport, sniping at targets, not at people, of course.
Oh,
But
you
the
mean like that
police said
DC
it's
shooter?
too scary. The police said it's too scary for our veterans to own these firearms. So they've just had a big gun confiscation that ended on July 1. I told people to sell them interstate. Don't give them back to the state. Don't give them to the cops. The cops were undervaluing the firearms here, so they weren't even getting the
definitely don't.
value that they paid them.
Wow.
So yeah, that's right, Babs. I said send them interstate. Send them to your mates.
Only sell
Let's
them to
get rid of
cops
this
if they're
government
if you're
and-
3D printing them.
Right.
Yes.
So, or just made out of wood in your garage.
Right.
The idea is you only sell guns to the government if it's a crappy gun and you get money to buy a better gun. Like that's
right.
Hmm.
That is the
you know,
way.
even
Amen.
then, I'd love to see. Are people doing like ghost gunning or 3D printed guns?
Well,
Is
they've
there
actually
an
banned.
active culture
They've
there?
also they've banned drawings of firearms. So they've actually banned
Yeah,
books
we heard.
in
We
my
heard about this
state. I
one.
think, yeah, so you cannot own drawings of firearms at all anymore in my state of Western Australia. So it's really bad
Wait,
here,
when you say
guys.
drawing, do you mean like like if I draw a scribble on my?
Schematic drawings
Like
a
of
blueprint, like a-
firearms.
What about like a
to
Batman
prevent
comic
looting.
book with a
Right.
gun in it? Is that
Don't
that too
give them any
dangerous now?
ideas. Don't give them any ideas.
Can you buy
They'll
like a
ban
squirt gun
everything.
there? Are squirt guns legal? Like Nerf guns? Are those readily sold?
Oh,
Are they kind of
no.
no?
They're classified as a firearm. Airsoft, the sport of airsoft is illegal in Australia. Paintballs are classified
Wow.
as firearms as
Jesus
well. I know
Christ.
you guys-
Can't even
Would,
paintball. Wow.
That's
What
amazing.
Yes.
about like the traditional owners, the Aboriginal people? Are they allowed to carry guns?
Yes,
That
So
then
get
can
to
you
know
become
them.
one of those?
Time to
they're
convert.
exempt.
Can you
They're
become one of them?
exempt. I could identify. Yes, there's nothing stopping me identifying as anything I like. As we all know, that's what's happening in the world at the moment. Identify as whatever you like. But yeah, it's grim. It's grim in Australia. I'm sorry to be such a downer on 4th of July,
But this is, I mean, but
this
isn't
No,
this
is why
why
we need
right?
Independence Day.
Right. But isn't this why, like, when COVID happened, like Australia just had insane lockdowns and nobody could do shit about it, and they had no problem imposing whatever tyranny they wanted to because they considered the populace to be helpless. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so my state, we closed the border for 2 years. At one point in time, only Western Australia and North Korea were the 2 states in the world with our borders closed. I couldn't travel
And
across the
North
border
Korea's
to see
got
my
legal.
family.
North Korea's got
Yeah,
legal weed. What do you have?
yeah. We only have medicinal weed here.
So you're saying it's
Um,
less free than North Korea in
At
Australia?
one point of time, it was. Yes, I know. I'm not even
Almost
joking.
the
I
same,
wish
but
that I
without
was.
legal weed, even.
Yes, I know. How unbearable is that? That is torture. I mean, at least let us have some bodily autonomy. I mean, they mandated the jab, 3 injections, 75% of the workforce had to be injected here to keep our jobs. It was just crazy. I can't wait to go to Sydney to talk about this. I'm traveling to Sydney this week to speak at Friedman Conference. Spike Cohen from your beautiful country will be there. I can't wait to meet him. I've seen him posting stuff on Twitter about his adventures in Australia. It is a real place, guys. We do exist. So I can't wait to travel across
it's
and
run
see
by
him in
kangaroos.
Sydney.
So it's a big event. What's this event entail?
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, so the Australian Taxpayers Alliance they host a big conference every year called Friedman Conference after Milton Friedman, the economist. And it's a 2-day event. I'll be speaking on the Sunday about the gun laws that are happening in WA and about what happened during COVID with our crazy laws here. I think one thing that I tell a lot of people is that we had to show proof of vax to buy alcohol at one point in time. So you could buy
Jeez.
cigarettes without showing it, but when it came to alcohol, you had to show proof of vax. So the boot of the state was on our neck.
How did they figure that one out? How did they be like, all right, we'll let them smoke cigarettes, but we're not going to let them drink booze?
It's actually quite evil. It was because the Indigenous Australians weren't getting vaccinated. And so as punishment, because there is a bit of a problem with alcohol in our Indigenous communities,
Same
it
here.
was a form of punishment. Isn't that terrible? That's
Yeah.
how evil our government is in Western Australia. So I'll be talking about this at the conference in Sydney this week, and Spike will be there too. So should be a good time.
Heck yeah.
2 words.
Nice.
Boating accident.
I saw an article. I guess all isn't as grim in Australia. I saw an article that Australia is the first country to let patients with depression or PTSD be prescribed psychedelics. Have you heard much about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
So It's good. So, see, some things we're progressive in, and other things we're fucking terrible in. But this is a good advancement in that, because obviously I'm a supporter of bodily autonomy. I would like to see it go further for recreational use as well. We can have cannabis here, but only for medicinal purposes. So you have to go through quite a process to be prescribed it. And the same thing with mushrooms, and I think MDMA as well is also on the list. PTSD treatment. So there are some things that we're advanced in here, but other things we're lacking in. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. I'm still speaking out and doing what I can for the cause. We have rebranded the party to Libertarian Party of Australia now. Last time I came on the show, we were Liberal Democrats, which was a little bit confusing in terms of terminology. So we're the Libertarian Party of Australia. So we can join you guys in calling us the LP. And yeah, we'll see. The Libertarians are coming.
Hell yeah. And if you guys ever want to work with us or do anything, just get in contact with me. We can work on something, share our messages, maybe post different things. We do all sorts of
Meme
stuff.
swap.
Yep. Meme swap. Yep.
Memes.
Yes. That's the good thing about being from a party of principles. Like, we don't have to, like, we know what we stand for. We don't have to have little meetings about, oh, what are we going to say about this policy? We already know. That's what I love about this party, is we're principled. We're not populist.
That sounds much better than our Libertarian Party. Can I
Yeah, I was
join
going to
your
say, that
Libertarian
doesn't
Party?
sound like the
Oh,
LP
you
here.
guys don't have principles? Fuck. What are you guys doing over there?
You know, like they come and go. They come and go with the season of, but like, you know, there's been good periods for the LP and not so good periods. So
right now, it's a much better peer when it comes to messaging.
So is there are you guys going to try to like elect, what do we do, have a king down there, or what is it, a emperor?
We're still part of the Commonwealth, so oh god, I was so angry when I
Does that mean you're subjects?
We're still
are you subjects of the king?
To the crown, yes, the crown, yes, we are subjects to the crown.
Does that mean you're
Don't
obligated
get me
to
started
obey?
on the monarchy.
Like if he showed up at your house, would you be obligated to serve him tea and crumpets, or how does that work?
Tea and biscuits. I hope he doesn't show up here. I'm really against the monarchy. Please don't get me started. Although it is Independence Day, so this is what we need to do. I want a republic in Australia. So maybe we should aim for our own 4th of July and finally become independent from the UK. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know what the future is like in your country, but it's looking a bit grim here. We do have a few libertarian politicians elected in New South Wales and Victoria at a state level. My election in WA isn't till March 2025, so we've got a bit of a time to go to live under a one-party state because we don't have any opposition here. So yeah, I'll just keep doing what I can for the cause. And yeah, thanks for having me on the show to talk about it.
What now? I've heard of like the politicians there, aren't they just pretty much doing whatever Klaus Schwab or Great Britain or Uncle Sam wants? I mean, they're like, hey, do you want some? Can we put nukes there? You know, you'll be a target, but it'd be cool for us. And they're like, yeah.
I think our biggest paid government employee is Zelensky. We just keep throwing money at him. So I think we're up to about 475 million, 790 million. I don't even know how much we've given to him.
Jump change.
Those rookie numbers. You gotta check those numbers up. we don't have.
I think US is like 15, 20 billion, something like
that. So for instance, we literally had they called it what, a marketing error or something, where it was actually we actually sent
accounting error.
We sent you an additional 6.2 billion. That's what happened. We sent them 6.2 billion.
But
on
here's
accident.
the thing: you gotta be kind of clear about who's sending what to who, right? People say, "Oh, Zelensky's getting it." Is he really getting it, or is Raytheon and Lockheed Martin getting it, right? And then, like Zelensky gets his cut, but the big players are, like he's just there. They hired him because he could play piano with his dick, and he was good on TV, and.
He's laundering. He's a launderer.
He's
like the guy in Ozark.
Launderer in chief.
But like, so all these billions of dollars, I feel like they're not going to, it's not going to Ukraine. That makes me think like, oh, the people of Ukraine are going to benefit somehow. Like it's like, here, we're sending you depleted uranium. for Ukraine.
God, that's-
You know, like no, Ukraine's not going to benefit from depleted uranium.
I saw this
Well-
awful video, and it was you hear in the news they're not talking about it all about this counteroffensive, and apparently it's gone all awry. And I saw this awful video of
Probably
these
never even
Ukrainian-
existed.
Well, I saw this video where so I'm posting an article in here. Is a tweet I put out from the LP Maryland, but we already gave them Bradley fighting vehicles, the tanks, basically troop carriers. A lot of them everything we already just sent to them has already been decimated in this counteroffensive. And there was this
Mission
awful video.
accomplished.
It was terrible. There was this
That's
awful
Keynesianism.
video.
101, baby.
The whole idea is to sell equipment, right? So now
Right.
mission accomplished.
Blow
Now
it up,
sell them
sell
more
more.
equipment, and they can get that
Break
blown
some
up.
more windows.
Yeah, that's great for business.
Break
But
some
it
more
was
windows,
just fucked.
baby.
It was so messy because it was drone footage. Now I don't know who was filming. If it was a Russian drone, but you just see these poor bastards stuck in a minefield, and they're just getting it's just like, what the fuck? We're just sending all this money over to them, and they're just getting slaughtered. And our media is not talking about this so-called counteroffensive. It went from the spring offensive to now the summer offensive to we need to send them more money because.
It literally sounds like Russia's definitely way more fortified, and like the landmines that they had set up are completely decimating the.
Oh, it was
decimating
awful.
Ukrainians.
It's drone footage, so there was no audio, but you just see these dudes just getting their legs blown off.
Wait,
Just
so
Oh God, yeah, I
by
saw it.
counteroffensive,
It
is
was
that-
awful.
does that mean Ukrainians are trying to invade Russia?
No. What happens is they fortify their lines with mines. So when the Ukrainians advance, whatever, from what I'm understanding, I could be wrong about this, so do your own research. But so when they advance,
I won't.
and exactly. So,
This is a credible news source, Otto.
Yeah,
This is
PRL,
a credible
yeah.
show.
Exactly. So when the Ukrainians advanced towards Russian lines, they were very fortified. So then what happened was they would set with drones. The Russians would deploy landmines with drones behind them. So when they retreated back into a minefield. And there's videos of it, and it's horrifying. Like it sucks, man. Like I was watching this video of this Ukrainian guys getting blown up. They're just slowly creeping through a minefield, and all of a sudden just boom, and their legs going. It's awful.
It's terrifying.
I know, it sucks, man. War is fucking awful, and it just sucks.
Well,
that
hey,
we're-
just fly
we're
your
fighting-
fly your Ukraine flag, Otto, and it'll all go away.
right. But we're fighting to the last Ukrainian. That's what us Americans.
I just posted in the comment a link of Lindsey Graham giving his commentary.
Yes,
Oh.
we talked about this.
Wow.
You know what? This is worth another view. If you want to play
All right.
this.
This
Play
is the
this
one.
clip.
This is the one where he says Russians are dying. Best money we've ever spent.
Oh, dude, he looks like he was had such a hard on underneath the table when he said it. Look at his smile. Look at that smirk. Piece of
Free
shit.
or die.
Free or die.
Now you are free,
Yes.
and we will be.
And the Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent.
Look at that
Thanks.
smile. Look at that.
I expect
Oh,
in the
yeah.
coming
That's
days
a
and
war
weeks
pig.
Yeah.
Yes.
for the Ukrainian counteroffensive to yield results. And I'm here to tell you that the last chapter of the Battle of Bakhmut is yet to be written.
Yeah, good luck at that. It's over, dude.
I'm here to tell you that the Russian military is about to have holy hell unleashed upon them.
Yeah,
Oh, is
we're
he,
still
is he
waiting,
driving the
bro.
tank?
Right.
didn't happen.
Is he got the RPGs on his shoulder?
Ugh.
There's video.
Scumbag.
He recently.
Okay.
So there was a
That's
Trump
shit.
rally in South Carolina, I believe over the weekend, and for some reason, Lindsey Graham. Well, that's his state. I don't know how he keeps getting fucking reelected as a senator in South Carolina, but he got booed hardcore. Like he couldn't even get to his intro of Trump because he was just getting
Yeah,
booed
that's right.
viciously. And it's like people are seeing through this and they're sick of it. What's the
Why is Trump
sentiment in
having it,
Australia like
Ugh.
with with this war going on in Ukraine and like money just being sent away and laundered away? There's
Well,
like people
both
upset.
sides are as bad as each other. So we've just given them like $790 million, and we've given them weapons as well that we're not allowed to own as civilians. But let's go and arm Ukrainian civilians who've never shot a bushmaster in their life. You know, you can have that, but I can't as a law-abiding citizen in my country.
Well,
But
maybe
both
if you
sides are as bad as each other, saying we need to give them more. We need to give them more. It's just ridiculous. It's exhausting.
maybe if you had
Like,
a Nazi
people can't even
tattoo.
afford to eat here.
Yeah.
People can't afford. The cost of living is through the roof. Our reserve bank, which is like your Federal Reserve, is going to put up interest rates today for, I think I was listening to the news before, the 13th interest rate rise in the last 12 months. Like, it's getting crazy, the cost of living here. Like, people can't afford to pay their bills. Like, we got a $400 electricity credit, but then they're giving billionaire, like, mining companies $2 billion for unproven hydrogen energy. And then we're sending all this money to Ukraine. Like, they're not even looking after the people on the ground in Australia. Like, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. It's really sad. So, you know, I'm anti-war. I don't want us to be involved at all. In fact, there was a survey that came out that said 54% of Australians think we should be neutral, and 46% said we should do whatever the US wants us to do. So, you know,
What is up with those people? Why are
Bunch of
46% of people willing to
we
take
love
direction
your
from the
country,
US?
Babs. We love your country, Babs. Well, 46%.
Don't they
of
know
us do, but-
don't they know that the country's being ruled by a demented kid sniffer?
Oh my God. I saw that vision of him walking out of the interview when it was still live. What the hell is going
right.
He
Oh, we
just
gotta
got
find
up
that
and
video.
walked out.
He just stumbled
Like,
away.
is
like
he
a-
okay? Like, is he actually okay?
No,
I think
that was
he
Meat
needs to.
Joe.
My 97-year-old grandma seems a bit more switched on than he does. No offense.
Well, listen,
I'm actually worried about him.
His job is to read the teleprompter and to hopefully make it to the next appearance. Okay, without
No, his job is to model the
Okay.
CGI. They need a good CGI model that they could base all the.
Did you see he put, like, he's going on talking about economics, like it's a
Bidenomics.
Bidenomics.
What's the
yeah.
theory behind
like
that?
Reaganomics.
Print
like
money?
Reaganomics.
Print money?
It's just the bull. It's like his branding now, and they're going around and there's a tour. I posted it in there, Jared. There it is. There's the Investigate America. This is the tour. This is the fucking.
How cringe is this shit,
Dude,
This
looks like
is the worst version of Warped Tour I've
John
ever
Podesta. Why is John Podesta on here? Yeah.
This is the worst Warped Tour lineup ever.
That's hilarious.
Worst lineup
Janet
ever.
Yellen. Oh my God.
Look at all these fuckers.
Kamala.
Let's
Second
do an
gentleman.
LP one. Let's
Oh.
do like Spike
Janet
Cohen,
Yellen's gonna
Marge
be there. Oh,
Teray,
shit.
Lady Liberty. Fuck
Hell yeah.
this.
Why doesn't
needs
Janet
to
Yellen
be
get top
higher.
billing? I don't understand.
Who's this guy, Doug Emhoff? Second gentleman. I've never heard that term before. I guess that's Kamala's.
I know
name.
his brother Jack.
Second gentleman. Second gentleman. That sounds like my side guy.
That sounds like
Yeah,
a
like-
podcast
Second
name. to me.
gentleman.
Yeah, like there's your first and then you have a second, you know, like
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Who
it.
wants to be Lady Liberty's second gentleman?
hey, you know what? If
oh,
I was
Jack
even in,
Emhoff.
if I was
Man.
even in the running at all, I'd be happy.
Right.
So what the hell is this meant to be? Investing
Will the tour
America,
be
you
going
mean
to
spending
France?
other people's
I don't think
money to
anything's going
rack
to
up
France.
debt? Is that what we're seeing here?
Yeah.
What?
What was
You
that?
guys
It's
should go and
insane.
boo. Just go and boo.
I have this long like.
Is it
I
literally? Is
swear
it
to
really a
God.
tour, or is this
Ooh,
just?
Pete Buttigieg's going to be there.
No,
Oh my
it's not a
God.
tour. This isn't a tour.
I mean, they're just. That's all
Wait.
50 states,
Holy
right?
shit, dude. This might be a tour.
That's all 56.
That's all
states.
50 states, though, right? Isn't that the
No, it's
joke?
not.
Like, is it
No.
not?
I don't see
Alaska.
Montana.
Yeah, they're not coming to
You don't see
Maryland.
Alaska?
As
no.
usual, Australia
No.
misses out. Australia misses out because we're too far away. The Spike Cohen's here, but these people can't. I nearly said the C word. These people won't come here, but Spike will. That shows you the priorities.
Be glad. Be glad.
Yeah.
Be glad, be grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Close the border, quick.
Yeah, quick. Lockdown. Go to DEFCON 5. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if Joe Biden's come down under yet, has he? I don't know if he'd survived the journey.
I don't think he could.
Oh, that's CGI. Joe has those duties.
Yeah.
Has those duties.
Donald
Well-
Trump Jr. will be in Sydney when I'm there this weekend. I don't know if we like him or not. I don't really know much about him apart from he's doing the Super Slam.
He's
thing with-
entertaining sometimes. That's about it.
Hunting? Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's. I would say he's not the worst little critter that we have around here.
Yeah, I mean, like Hunter Biden versus that guy.
He's got to
Right.
come
You know,
down under.
Isn't
He's gonna
there?
come.
Didn't you want to show a video of Hunter Biden doing crack and speeding or something crazy?
So
What's he been up to?
That's just so boring. That's all he does. You know, I mean,
yeah. Let's switch it up. Why not some
We're
like
already over
heroin or
the-
something? You know.
yes, I don't know if this video is of it because I was having a
is that
hard
one of his
time.
victims? Oh
what's
no,
happening
pizza
here?
party.
Oh,
I'm not
God.
watching ads.
Let's not do pizza parties. Oh,
All right, I'm
so
not sure
gross.
this right now. Let me get through this ad.
Yeah, I don't think.
So gross.
Well, all the
Oh,
while,
I thought that was an image from Biden's laptop.
Oh, God.
yeah, like I mean, that was his conviction took place or lack thereof all while we were distracted with the submarine last week, and all his
No, saying it.
these ties are coming out with Burisma and
They're not even
So, yeah.
trying to hide anything anymore. They're just
No.
like, you know what? Screw it. We'll control the media. Yeah, sure. There's a bunch of bribery, whatever. We're just not going to talk about it on the View.
Yeah,
And,
we're not allowed to
pretend
talk
you
about
know, and
it.
therefore it doesn't exist.
yeah, there was a
If Richard-
video of who is it on the View? Like, oh, this is a story of a father of Joe Biden and his son, his like prodigal son, and just like getting all emotional. It's like, oh my god, like the level of gaslighting by the regime media. It's like, wow, like,
God bless
get the
them.
fuck, like any other person in this country, if you purchase a gun illegally or smoking crack every fucking day or did any of the levels of
Raped
anything,
a child. How about
yes,
raping children? That was,
yes.
isn't that also on the video? I mean, are we supposed to assume those underage women were consenting? No, you're underage. You're not consenting.
Yeah, it's or what taxes, back tax, like, oh, I didn't know you had to pay taxes. Like, no, any one of us are gonna have, we're going away. And it's
So just to clarify, this is the son of the president of the United States of America, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
He's the black sheep. He's just this loose cannon doing crack, buying guns
Fruit
illegally.
does not fall far from the tree. Okay, this is. I'd say
Wow.
he's following in his father's footsteps a lot more than Rand Paul is.
Oh. Why do we have to take an unnecessary shot at Rand Paul?
Yeah. Rand Paul. What's he been up
He's
to
not the
lately?
worst.
Like boycotting like firemen's fundraisers or something insignificant?
I don't know,
I don't
man.
know.
He's
I don't know.
I
I
think
haven't
he's
heard,
a
I haven't heard much
senator.
from Rand Paul.
How come he hasn't put Fauci on trial yet? Like, you're a senator. Like,
Because it's just
what are
him.
What are you waiting
it's
for?
literally just him and Massey. That's about it. That's the only people who have political will to do anything as based as that.
Don't the Republicans own some of the legislature or both?
Yes, and the Democrats own them. So if so facto, it's not gonna happen.
Be funny if it
Dude.
did, though, wouldn't it?
The Republicans are just the Washington Generals. That's all they are. They just always lose. They're meant to lose, and that's just that's what they'll always be. It's just
They're the
they'll-
ones that
they
play
get-
the Globetrotters every
yeah, they're the ones who always play
Yeah.
every game.
just get
Yep.
smoked. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just
It's
pro
their-
wrestling at this point. But
Kate is
Whatever-
completely lost by what you guys are talking about.
I was just thinking, what's going? I was actually going to ask, what's happening with your primary? So I've seen RFK Jr.'s been in the news a little bit over
yeah.
here.
they're going hard again. Like the anything and anything he says, it doesn't matter. They're already labeling him like, oh, he's anti-vaxxer, he's anti-vax, or radical views. And there was a recent. Did you guys see that town hall that he hosted, or that they hosted, and he just shut down the moderator? We'd have to find. I mean, it's a long response, and they even brought out some propagandist doctor to ask a question from the crowd regarding vaccines, and so they're going. But I just don't think they're going to allow him to participate in any debates.
Of course not. Of course,
I mean,
they're
they're
not
not-
going to allow him anywhere near it.
No.
You know, like You don't challenge the pharmaceutical, military, industrial complex, and the deep state hates him. Unfortunately, he's still not one of us, though. He's a gun grabber.
I did see that.
He is an
He's
They
authoritarian.
always disappoint. They always disappoint.
It's just he's a Democrat, so like
right.
I don't
look
I don't
at him
know.
under that
just,
lens, and he's pretty good.
Yes,
You know?
and that's what there's some like these autistic libertarians who are just like he's the best.
Aren't we all autistic?
Yeah,
I call it
some more than
Spurgy.
others.
Hi, Forest Mummy.
Spurgy.
You inspired me to post some like fit chick pictures because you said you can't be a hot fit chick unless you post pictures. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like, I'm a libertarian. I don't like these kind of rules put on me. But I thought, if Forest Mummy says you can't be
her.
a hot fit chick
It's
unless
just good
you
advice.
post
That's all.
pictures. So, yeah.
Don't stop there. I mean, it's the 4th, sparklers,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
I think Otto's got that lined up actually.
I will do it I'll take one for the team. If anyone
Take one
wants
for
to
the
see it.
team, man. Take one for the views, baby.
Oh boy.
That's the auto level of our Patreon.
Yeah,
The
that
4th
would
of
require
July
a Fed
special.
Yeah,
level.
Fed level, you get Otto firing a
mortar
sparkler
from
out
his
of his butthole.
I did get my fix of Americans the other week when Ed Dowd came to town from BlackRock. He came to Perth and gave a speech about the stats he's been looking at in terms of your employment rate and the number of people presenting with vaccine injuries. So Ed Dowd from BlackRock, shout out to you living in Maui. Also Dr. Asim Mahacha from the UK, he's a famous cardiologist. He's been speaking out against Pfizer, saying it should never have been approved for human use. Sorry, I'm going to get this show.
That's fine.
That's all right.
Don't worry.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, it would be an honor.
Entertainment
Oh, it
purposes
lasted
only.
half an
Show's
hour.
been on too long. It
Right?
needs to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we're not really even making an impact because we hardly even get threatened with anything.
I'm
I
going to
know.
say some more outrageous things.
Well, feel free. Let's go. All
The floor is yours.
I'm already on a watch list. I've already been telling people don't comply with the gun confiscation here. I'm just waiting for the cops to bang through my door. At least it'll be live on PRL, me getting arrested. Happy
no.
Tuesday. Happy 4th of July.
I know. Arrested on the 4th of July.
Do you have like tannerite filled gnomes out by the front door?
I have security cameras. That's about it. And pepper spray, which
Well, don't
I'm
tell-
allowed to possess, but I'm not allowed to use. That's the law in my state. I can possess it, but
Oh.
I can't use it.
You can't deploy it. Wow.
I can't deploy pepper spray.
Can you deploy like some like hot sauce on your taco? Is that
Whoa, hey now.
Whoa.
like at what point does it
Our
cross the
Our
line?
sauce is not as hot as your hot sauce. Like, see, we're even like watered down sauce here. Watered down gun laws, watered down hot sauce, watered down everything. It's not good.
Love hot sauce. Man, that's ridiculous. I can't. There's like in Maryland, in our state, they passed the law saying pretty much like, oh, you can open carry, but it just can't be around where people gather. So if there's like a group of like people on your property and they're gathering, like you can't, or like outside your house, you can't walk outside your house with your gun.
Right.
What's
If
the
some criminals are
definition of
gathering outside your
gathering?
house, you can't.
I think
use
it's
your
renting
gun.
it like 2 or more
Two
people or something
people.
like that.
Yeah, if there's a mob trying to lynch your
God.
family.
Yeah, that's
Sorry. You're
illegal.
alone. Right. If you need to use the gun, say to like off yourself, that's fine. Right.
Yeah.
But if you know
Yeah,
that, in fact, that'll help your carbon footprint. That that's totally
that is the
you know,
carbon they look to
Canadian way.
replace. You know.
Are they trying to give you any of that Canadian crap down there with like assisted suicide? Like, hey, let's sponsor your suicide. Have you ever thought about that?
I did see that poor woman who wanted like the chairlift installed in her home, and they said, "How about you kill yourself instead?" Really?
How about you eugenicize yourself? You know.
This is
You're
let's face
a
it.
problem.
It's the inevitable result of socialized medicine. Eventually, you're just like, look, we can save some money if you just off yourself. you know, and then like, all right, you know,
It's
like,
for the
let's
greater
let's
good.
go with
Like
that,
you're
you
so
know.
selfish wanting to live and wanting help from the state, you should just kill yourself.
Right. Once you collectivize everything, and once you no longer have individuals, but you just have like a herd to manage, right? Like like you're managing your herd. Yeah, if you know what, let the weak take themselves out, you know, and let the strong continue to provide milk and eggs for the farm, you know.
Yep.
But they're not. Are they pushing that shit down there yet?
Not yet. We do have it is legal in some states. In my state it is for euthanasia, but you need to go through the process of, you know, seeing doctors and, you know, do you really want to die, and are you suffering enough, and proving that, you know, you need to access it. So they don't make it easy. Nothing is easy.
I mean, I think it should be legal. I just don't think it should be subsidized, and I don't think those subsidies should pay for ads on TV promoting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
As long as it goes towards Soylent Green, it's fine with us.
That's the same with all this transgender debate. Like, I don't think it should be paid for by Medicare, which is our socialized healthcare system here. But if you say that, you say, well, you're not you're anti-trans. It's like, no, I just don't think my money should be spent on that kind of like.
So you
elective
support
surgery.
genociding the trans? It's literally a genocide.
Oh God! And
Yeah,
we've got the drag queen story times happening in the local library here. We've got that happening too. So
oh, you've got that? Oh,
got
nice.
Have you attended?
No, I have. I actually got bailed up in the street by a guy saying, you know, there's going to be like protesters. Do you stand on the side of trans? And I was just thinking, well, I don't think it should be in a public library because that's paid for by ratepayers. Like the whole libertarian response, and he was just staring at me.
No, Kate, it's a yes or no question. There's no room for nuance here.
And I said, I respect the choice of the individual, but I don't think it should be this, and that. And he was just staring at me like I was an alien. And I thought, have you actually like thought beneath the surface? Have you heard of critical thought? Like, do you even know what you're standing for anymore? But they just can't even say anything back. It's like when I was waving my GAD-SWAN flag on election day here, some socialist was like, you don't care about people. I'm like, how do you get that from my flag? Like, I care about the individual.
Can you tell us about that flag?
The biggest minority is the individual. Oh, my GAD-SWAN. So
what is the GAD-SWAN flag?
So Western Australia is famous for being one of the few places in the world that has black swans. So there's these beautiful black swans. There's a lake that I walk around near my house, and I listen to you guys when I go for my walk, and there's black swans sitting there. So for my election campaign, I came up with the GAD-SWAN flag, which has got "Don't Tread on Me" and our state's logo on there. So that's my little creation, and I wave that proudly because, you know, that's the libertarian symbol. So that's the theory behind it. Thank you. Spike likes it too. I might have a special dress lined up for Friedman. You know, my taxes theft dress. I've retired that for this year, and I've got another new number I'll be debuting at the conference in Sydney on Saturday. So watch out on your socials.
Oh my goodness!
A picture of my new outfit, fashion. You know, you got to change a bit of AOC, the opposite of AOC. If she can do it, we've got to do it too. You know, we've got to do it better than the left. Well, I'm trying to anyway.
Now here, black swan is referred to as like a super rare, like it never happens, but every once in a while, like in like in the economy, something really weird happens. It's considered a black swan. Yeah, that nobody can predict.
Okay.
I think they're just rare. They're rare animals. They might be a lot. There might be a lot in Australia, but they're just generally rare in the world.
Like when you hear black swan mentioned, it's usually here. It's in terms of economics.
Yeah,
and they talk about a black
it's
swan
like, I think
event.
Nassim Taleb. I think Nassim Taleb coined that term. Economist. He wrote a bunch of books. Anyways,
didn't know that.
We've already lost a lot of our viewers on that. Let's move on.
Well, I like your use of the black swan. I think that the GAD-SWAN flag is very
GAD-SWAN.
Yeah, that's
catchy.
I thought that was like a mispronunciation, like an Australian accent thing.
No.
Then I looked behind you. I was like, okay,
GAD-SWAN, yeah.
great.
Gotta make it relevant, you know.
I'm
Hell
glad
yeah.
to see you're having fun
For
with
sure.
it. I think that's the most important thing. You know, it's like you have a base of principles. You know, like you want to like influence people. It's got to be fun, right? Like
Mm.
nobody, because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere with our budget. You know, like that's all we have.
Well, that's why I do my memes as well, because it's culture. You know, you've got to influence culture too, not just politics, because culture predates politics, as we know. Here we go. What's Spike doing?
The toilet test.
All right, let's do this. It didn't spin at all. It didn't. Australia's not real.
That
Confirmed.
was great. I love Spike. Well, I just shared a meme too on Twitter.
Is it a 4th of July meme?
No, it has. It's about our podcast we're doing right now. So if you went, just check,
Oh.
you might be
Oh.
tagged.
That's very meta of you, Otto.
Yes, I that's what I've been spending my time doing in between talking. It's just-
Otto sharing
Multitasking.
memes during the podcast. What a shocker.
Cute.
it's what I do. I can't help
You
myself.
put me upside down. Oh my god. Original.
If we had a good maybe like a producer, but the show doesn't deserve a producer, it's fine.
Hang on, let me find it.
Yeah, you can find it. But yes, so happy
You're
4th
so
of July,
cute,
everybody.
Otto. You are adorable. Spike's gonna love that. You should tag him.
I should.
Yeah, nobody ever tags Spike. He'd love that.
I'm about to see. I'm about to like throw out my I got his phone number, so I could just
You got
Whoa.
white
right now.
privilege.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
Well,
could
he
just
is a
text him
friend of the
right now.
show. I mean, he's a friend of the show. He's been on the show. Maybe we should get him back on to give a report from down under.
I should text him and say, "Wake up," but I don't want to
Wake
mess this. I won't do it. I'm sure it's one of those fake Google numbers that like it scrambles your number and then sends a message and you can call people from, but I'll still take it. It's still his number. Still got it. Spike's great. I was hanging with him at the Delaware convention not too long ago, like last month. And we actually we were talking about having him come out to one of our events here in Maryland that we have every year. It's our crab feast. And he's from Maryland.
He's Jewish though. He's Jewish, dude. You don't invite him to a crab feast.
But he eats crabs. So
What?
Yeah, I eat crabs.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You eat crabs?
Yeah. I mean, I'm also like an atheist, but yeah.
I thought
I
thought Jews could only not eat pork. I didn't know you couldn't eat
No, you
crab.
can't eat shellfish.
yeah, bottom dollars.
Oh.
Dude,
Well,
I've been
prawn?
living on. I live on lobster rolls while I'm in Maine. You know.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So
Well, he's a messianic Jew, so he doesn't go by all that. I
Wait,
don't
he's
think.
messianic?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
That means he's basically like a Christian.
Yeah,
Like
but he
Jews for
follows,
Jesus.
Yeah, Jews for Jesus. Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, I just lost a little respect for him.
Wow. Hey. Don't talk about us.
Those people are crazy, dude.
He's
Dude,
a
I might
half
have to-
Gentile. Okay, you leave him
Yeah,
alone.
as opposed to the Hasidics or the other like
Those people are crazy too, man. They're all crazy.
As usual, religion causing war. As usual, causing conflict.
Yeah, I'm
Wait till
gonna
we get
set
to
up
the
some
after hours. I like-
IEDs around Spike's toilet.
Anyway, Spike is great. He said so I reached out to his guy who books everything, all his events and stuff, and he was like, yeah, he's on a flight right now to Australia. I'm like, I know. He's like, I don't know, I don't think. And he pretty much said Spike was like, I can't do it, it's just too much travel. So you got him in Australia, so make it suck every hour out of him, essentially.
Yeah, I
That's pretty much
can't
how
wait
we
to
operate.
meet him. I fly to Sydney on Thursday, so I think I'm seeing him Friday night or Saturday at the conference. It's gonna be awesome.
Get punk rock libertarians invited to Australia for something. Like we'll all go, right? Like
You
you're
guys
right,
should
like,
come
hell
to
yeah.
this conference.
be allowed-
Well, it's
next
the first
year?
time I've heard
But
of it.
James is
Yeah.
James allowed. Yeah,
know,
you're allowed
James
in.
allowed.
What have you done? What's on your rap sheet, Babs? Come on.
Well, what do they check Let's just say that. That's
Yeah, who's asking?
there. Yeah.
You're like gone straight into I don't talk to cop mode. I don't talk to cops.
That's the cardinal rule, you know.
Yeah, I know. I've listened to that.
Point to the
So-
side, James.
God, that brings up. Let me
Mm.
mention a side story. There's this guy I watch, Tucker Gott, on YouTube. He flies paramotors. Okay, and I love this guy. He does paramotoring. He does base jumping. His videos are always like amazing, and he does this daredevil stuff. But he does it safely and professionally. But then he constantly talks to cops. Okay,
Mm.
and he just posted this video where some cops came and knocked on his door. He knew there were cops out there, but he opened the door anyway. They said, "Are you Tucker?" And he goes, "Yes." And he starts, "Or do you do paramotoring?" "Yes." He starts answering all their questions, and they're investigating this was like some kind of weird wellness check about somebody had been flying a paramotor like 100 miles away, and somebody thought it had crashed, and they thought it might have been Tucker, and they called the police. Anyway, it's the weirdest crap, right? That brings a cop to your door. But he's answering all the questions. Next thing you know, he's giving out his friends' numbers, his friends' names to the cops. So, I know these paramotors were down there, and I've already contacted them. He said, I contacted them and I made sure they didn't crash. So no. And so he confirms that no, his friends weren't involved. And then the cop's like, well, can I get their names? And he's like, sure. And and then the cops show up at one of his friends' work to interview him. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Just put everybody in danger.
Yeah, you put yourself in danger by opening the door when your security camera told you there are cops out there, right? Don't open the door, right? That's your first line of defense, right? Then they're like, he starts asking questions. He just answers them, and even on the security video, he's got the security video, and he's aware that before they even knock on the door, they've come up onto the yard, they've looked in the windows, they've looked at his license plates, right? They're already investigating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he's still giving out friends' numbers. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry for that little rant. Don't talk.
Don't you guys have don't you say I plead the fifth? Is that what you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the problem is there's a First Amendment auditor. I don't know, Kate, have you heard of First Amendment auditors here in the United States?
I know the First Amendment is free speech.
Well,
is that right?
so
Is this a little pop quiz? Second Amendment is my
I'm just saying,
favorite.
There's
I want
people
you to
that
feel left out of the conversation.
and like to go out and test public officials to see if they respect the First Amendment. So that's why it's a First Amendment.
So they
audit.
always go and they film they
Oh.
film they film police stations, prisons. They go out on public property and just film, and they wait for cops to come up there and start harassing them.
get mad about getting
like
filmed.
that. Yeah, and get mad about getting filmed, even though it's
'cause
perfectly
if
legal.
you
it's
start
protected
filming
under the First
somebody in
Amendment.
general, they're going to get mad. I probably would get mad if somebody just showed up and started filming me.
Yes.
But I'm not a
Yes.
public official.
Right.
Mm.
So the cops can't do anything, but sometimes they will. They'll arrest them, and then these guys will sue them and win. And there was one guy. There's just one fucking First Amendment auditor who breaks every rule of First Amendment auditing. He openly just gives the police his name and gives them his ID when they're not required to. And he infuriates me because he just keeps every video. He's holding his ground. Then all of a sudden he just caves. He goes, here, yeah, you can have my ID. When that's all they want to do is get your ID. And that's the one thing.
And he's a
all these
First Amendment auditor?
Yes. And he does it. And every other First Amendment auditor I know was like, no, you're not getting my ID. You don't need I haven't broken any law. I'm not under suspicion of breaking any law. You are not entitled to ask for my name or get my ID. But this guy just openly does it. And I'm like, what? That's the whole point of this. You're just an idiot. He's almost like a boomer con, I guess, who's just I respect the police. Oh, here we go.
Good advice.
I love these guys.
Hot Brothers at Law. We've been warning people, if you are working for an unlicensed dispensary, an illegal dispensary, and it gets raided, you need to shut the fuck up. If you shut the fuck up, you have a good chance that we can make the case go away. Case in point, 3 employees of an illegal shop were busted during a raid. 2 of them said, oh, I'm just volunteering here. The third guy shut the fuck up. and the DA did not prosecute the guy who shut the fuck up. They can't prove what you were doing there. If you're a customer, patient, walked in to go to the bathroom, they don't know. You got to shut the fuck up, and it's Shut the Fuck Up Friday. So review the script. What do you say when the cop first pulls you over?
Why'd you pull me over?
And when he keeps asking questions?
Not discussing my day.
And they ask more questions?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
I invoke the fifth.
And then what do? You
shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up Friday. Never answer questions when the cops ask.
Have safe holidays.
Tip of the day.
I love your country. Brava. We would be arrested if we've tried to talk like that to a cop.
But most people don't. Most people are like that guy I was describing, Tucker. He's a regular guy. He's a young white dude. He's never had a problem with the police, probably. He's the kind of guy that thinks, well, they're doing their job, keeping us safe. This is the normal view, okay? Like, he's not a libertarian. He's young. He's not like, he doesn't know anything, right? Except what they taught him in his government school, probably. So it's most people will talk. In fact, we have people on the show all the time start telling us stories about their conversations with cops. I'm like, what?
I think he's off camera right now.
I think I did listen to that episode, and Babs, you were just losing it. Don't talk. Do you have that on a t-shirt? Don't talk to cops. You need to have that on a t-shirt. Seriously.
All right, write that down. We need to add that to the PRL merch.
Oh.
Babs rules.
Yeah.
Babs. Yeah, don't talk to cops.
The 10 Bab commandments.
Yes.
I only have 3.
You only have 3.
Yeah.
What are they? Don't
Here,
talk to cops. Print guns. Buy crypto. Did I nail it?
Close. Yeah, that was pretty close.
No, it's don't. I think it's don't talk to cops.
Buy guns.
Oh, hold your own keys.
God,
Oh, there it is. Hold your own keys and get a prenup. Yeah, forget about get a prenup.
No, why are you even talking about a prenup? We shouldn't be getting married. We don't want the state.
She's more base than you, James.
That's what to do with our relationship. I'm disappointed in you, James Babb.
Well, you can have a private marriage. It doesn't mean a state marriage. But anyway, let's just say a prenuptial, an agreement. Let's just say, call it that.
And what's the other one? Hold your
Bitcoin
hold
keys.
your own keys.
Your private keys.
Not your keys, not your coins.
Yeah,
don't leave
keep
money
it
on it.
Coinbase.
Don't leave Bitcoin on an exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a shirt that has all that on it.
I think it should be with that design as well. That's very like psychedelic.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more aesthetically pleasing.
Tie-dye.
Yeah, something a little more. Well, it's supposed to be sort of a Hawaiian print.
Yeah,
you know.
I like the spirit though. Yeah, the spirit's there.
Yeah, it does kind of lack. Could be better.
It lacks graphic design skills, but hey, it's a start.
It was actually put together while we were on the show. It was like hearing a story about the cops. I was like, all right.
You're like, I need to write these rules down. People aren't listening. The youth of today are not listening.
Yeah, it doesn't like who's that guy? He's really popular. His rules to live by, rules of life.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a whole book or whatever. I'll just have like basically like a meme card that's like, this is all you need.
Tie-dye version.
Yeah, you don't need a whole book. Just distill it
Everyone
down.
gets a tie-dye shirt.
I think we hit on all their topics. I don't know. Was there anything else we wanted to hit on before we take it over to After Hours, Otto?
Well, the Supreme Court just did some pretty base things over the course of the
People are losing their mind.
Yeah.
What have they done?
Dude. Yeah,
Tell
they
me.
so what is it? Last week was, I don't even know. Did we even talk about this? Did this happen last week?
No,
I
it
don't
happened
remember.
like a few days ago, right?
It was like, so the last thing they did was they ruled against affirmative action in colleges. So it ends a racist program of of not, what is that? In admissions, that's what I was looking for. Like in admissions, based upon race and everything, it ends that. because Harvard has to keep what? They have to keep it less than 50% Asian, and they have to keep it more than 10% Black in order for their diversity quotas. So they were like excluding these Asians who were like the top of the list, and they were promoting like third tier people who are African American.
It's basically just straight up racism. Just straight up racism.
And this has been like this since like the 80s, since I was a little kid growing up.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it, and everybody just looks the other way and acts like, well,
But did you know this was actually outlawed in California of all places? Like affirmative action in public schools in California has been illegal since I don't know, decades, I want to say, which I thought was really surprising, but there was a whole like NPR article about all the bad things that happened because they made affirmative action illegal, which was like nothing really bad. It's just like, I don't know, it was like more fair. Like people got in based on their own merit.
Whoa, that's crazy talk.
I mean, it's so sad, but I mean, the bigotry of low expectations is what this all like comes from. It's like these liberal people that know that they're racist because they think Black people are inferior. Like that's the way they think, and therefore we have to make these laws because they know they are racist.
Well, do you know what they're doing here? We've got this big debate going on at the moment in Australia in relation to something called the voice. They actually want to insert something into our constitution, which gives Indigenous Australians more rights than all other Australians. It's actually outright. It's actually racist policy, and the left are doing it because they feel bad about our colonial history. And
so it's like reparations.
It's like, yes, and they're going to give them more of a voice to Parliament. So forget electing politicians. They're going to give Indigenous Australians an additional group of people to represent their communities. And it's not even going to represent all the tribes in Australia, just a certain group to represent 3% of Australians are Indigenous, but they're going to get more rights than everyone else in Australia. So that's something that's going to be inserted into our constitution if people vote yes to the referendum.
How about an alternative? How about an alternative? I've got an idea. Instead of giving them more representation in the Parliament, give them like an opt out. Like
yes.
they don't have to be part of any of the whatever shit Parliament's doing. So
well, I want to opt out too. I don't want to be governed by these fuckers.
So
right,
are they?
I mean,
are they given the same treatment as like Native Americans in the United States, where like they're forced into reservations and
they're giving them more rights? Yeah. So they already had something called Mabo, which was in relation to land rights and the ability to exercise sovereignty over land if it was spiritually or important culture. So they already have that in terms of the Mabo decision. Now we're talking about giving them extra rights in our own constitution, elevating them as a group of people above other individuals.
What about everyone just has like the rights that are, makes sense?
I know.
Actual rights.
Yeah. Well, we don't really have any rights here.
Negative rights.
We don't even have the right to travel in our own country during a pandemic, as I found out. So as we all found out.
Even the Aborigines, could they travel? Could they like canoe around?
They closed their community. So Indigenous communities in WA were closed until July 2022. From March 2020 to July 2022, Indigenous communities in outback Western Australia, it was illegal to enter and it was illegal for them to leave. That's how bad it got here.
Prison. That's what a prison.
That's called concentration camps.
That's called prison. Yes.
Well, you guys had like literal concentration camps, right? Where they were putting people in quarantine and they were in like little boxes and shit.
Well, COVID.
They actually. So we have
New Zealand?
No, that was here, Rottnest Island, where we have the quokkas, those little smiling critters that you'll see famous people come over and take selfies with, like Roger Federer and Novak when he was allowed here. They sent them over to Rottnest Island, like Plague Island, because they didn't want them in the city. Like we literally shipped them off to an island when they came back. 2 weeks mandatory quarantine. Australia was crazy during the pandemic.
Island in an island.
And yeah.
Well, was it probably the only place it was weirder was those crazy next door neighbors you have?
New Zealand, I know,
Yeah,
and Canada. They were bad too. Your neighbors were bad.
Yes.
New Zealand definitely went like they went like full Klaus Schwab. They're like, whatever you want, Klaus. We're
never
we're
go
doing
full
it.
Klaus.
Never go full Klaus. That should be
Never.
another one on your t-shirt.
That could be that's the podcast title, but I do like Jack Emhoff though.
Yeah. the 5-year-old inside of me is
Second
laughing.
gentleman.
Second gentleman, Jack Emhoff. What the fuck, dude?
Can you just imagine? Does he have a business card that says "Second Gentleman" on it? Like when, is it Second Gentleman of the United States? You know how we have the like First Lady of the United States or Flatus?
Oh, yeah,
And
Flotus,
Flatus.
or whatever. Flatus, Flotus.
Flotus.
That was Michael
right.
Obama. That was Michael Obama.
Big Mike, yeah.
Big Mike.
Second Gentleman of the United States.
So wait, why doesn't Kamala Harris have the same last name as her husband? She's that progressive?
I guess. So she keeps her father's name.
To continue the patriarchy. I
Yeah,
don't
to
know.
fight the patriarchy. I'm keeping my father's name.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Well,
These
I think
people.
that's about it
But-
for the podcast tonight. We're gonna take this on over to our after hours podcast. Or
I have an
Kate's-
idea for after hours.
Ooh,
well, I'm saying in Kate's land, it's probably still before hours. But this is
It's
gonna be our
9
after
o'clock
hours.
in the morning on 4th of July here.
Wow.
So cheers,
that's when I'll probably be
everybody.
getting up on 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Nice.
I have a barbecue later. I'm going to the range later today to shoot.
But are you putting another shrimp on the Barbie?
Oh, Jared.
I call them
Wow.
prawns. I don't call them shrimp.
Put another prawn on the Barbie?
prawn on the
prawn.
Barbie.
Okay.
For
Well-
after hours, I'd like to discuss a way we can like donate guns to Australia.
Oh,
So-
yes.
Okay.
We've been
We
talking
can-
How
about
about just
that.
Ender 3s?
Let's
The
talk about
Libertarian
getting
Party
weapons.
needs to have a stockpile of weapons. I think
That's
one
what I'm
of the
saying. Like,
things I'm
well,
gonna
we
put
need to
up.
arm.
Let's
we
just
need to
steal a
armor-
shipping container of Ender 3s and redirect it to Australia.
Right, or
Yeah.
some of those Stinger missiles that are headed for the Ukrainian black market. You know,
Well,
like,
apparently, so side note. So we were talking about France a little bit. I don't know if we hit. Did we hit on? I don't even think we hit.
Not
on
really,
France.
no.
Well,
Not for after hours. Yeah.
so but apparently some of the automatic firearms that were being shot, they were found out that a lot of it was coming. They were guns that were sold to Ukraine. And they
Oh,
somehow made their way to France.
Oh, sure.
wonder how
Yeah.
that happened.
Do they have,
Nobody
do they have
ever-
pallets of
nobody-
bricks too?
Anyway, well, Kate, thanks for joining us so early in the morning. If you want to go ahead and plug your event, plug your social media, tell people where they can find you.
So I'll be speaking at Friedman Conference in Sydney this weekend. Spike Cohen will be there. There's still tickets online if you happen to be in Australia or in Sydney this Saturday and Sunday. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Lady Liberty Australia. Thank you so much for having me back on the show. Happy 4th of July. I wish I was in America celebrating with you, but I'll just stay in my little home in Perth and have a drink from here. So cheers.
Nice.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming on. And I know Alex has got an event he's plugging. So Alex, why don't you tell
yes.
the good people about what's going on here in the U.S.
Plug it. Plug it in.
So we got it
Something
Jared's
we're all
down there. There's the
supporting.
Eventbrite. So this is Liberty Stock in Vermont. It's September 2nd and 3rd up in Cabot, Vermont. And they got a couple speakers lined up, probably more to come. There's a cannabis festival. Olga Marie up there in Vermont or Connecticut, yes. So she's putting this on at her property. I think this is the 3rd year she's doing it. So Punk Rock Libertarians were the sponsors. There's the Eventbrite. We'll put it in the show notes, and we'll be
I
putting
plan
up
on
the
going.
flyer on Twitter.
I'm taking
Yeah,
my
Babs,
RV.
let's go.
do it.
Well, James,
down, Babs.
where you? Yeah, where I hear you're going to another Libertarian Fest somewhere out in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, I'd like to go to Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest. Like we were talking about that last week. It's in Gaines, Michigan. end of this month. It's super fun, but it is pretty far. You know, it's like
James is like
Michigan's
a
not really
Grateful
on.
Dead groupie, but for like Liberty Fest.
Like there should be just go on tour, right? Like go from one show to the next. But you know what? Why not? If you know, I especially like these like camping style events because I like to, you know, I've got a travel trailer, and you know you can just pull in and you know you've got everything you need. Like at Rogers Campground, for instance, you don't want to have to depend upon the Rogers like water system like after from Wednesday on, right? Like.
Well, I mean that brings us to Anarchon. Anarchon happens in Northern Virginia, well, a little bit Western Virginia, and that's be held next month. And you know, our friend
are
Cal
you guys
Molyneux
going to that?
puts that on. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, to be honest with you.
I've always
I'm
wanted
actually
to
going
go
to
to that.
on vacation. I think I'm also going to be on vacation that week, so I'm not even sure if I'll even be in town.
Is it like the first week of August?
I think so.
Yeah, we're gonna be in New York, I think.
Yeah. It stinks. Every time Anarchon comes up, I'm always like, I got something planned. So,
well, it's like
it's anyone else
prime
listening,
summertime. You know, I mean, it is a prime time. You know, it's like it's popular. So
damn.
Yeah,
So it's like we got you covered.
The December
guys.
festivals aren't that popular.
Right. Fine. If you're in Australia, United States, we got a Liberty event happening. Go to one. Find one. Go to it, and it'll make us happy. So I think that's about it for tonight. We're going to head over to our After Hours podcast, which we're going to record right after this. If you guys sign up for as little as $3 a month on our Patreon, we will send you a link so you guys get to listen to it live, or you get to check it out later. It'll show up on one of your podcatchers. And if you guys don't like using Patreon, there's other ways to donate to our show at prlfans.com. You send us some Bitcoin, PayPal, anything. Just send it our way. Send us cash. Sign up. Show us you like us. Go to our YouTube. Subscribe.
Send us Bitcoin and then buy more Bitcoin.
Yes. Just keep doing that constantly. So, and we also have T-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. If you use the code PRL or PRL podcast, you get a 10% discount. If you use the code PRL or PRL2, you get a 20% discount when you spend $50 or more. And until next time, live free,